to determine how they can fulfill as many customer needs as possible. This presents huge business opportunity. On the other hand, the travel distribution is changing. Due to growing pressure from the industry, travel suppliers are increasingly differentiating their offers, looking at retail and merchandise to travel new ways to maximize their revenues. New standards such as NDC is becoming increasingly adopted by airlines. I personally believe the best way to address all of these requirements is by bringing the whole team together, using the data intelligently, integrating it with new capabilities and architectures. This is what we are trying to address today. So if we take a look at our agenda today, we will start with a global view on a regional focus. Salman will brief us about Middle East travel landscape and reveal some exciting researches Sabre has conducted in the region. Following that, we will hear about intelligence retailing and the future of personalized travel, before we hear from Abizer about virtual payments in Middle East. And after a coffee break, we will come back together to listen to the travel makers. A panel discussion that will bring speakers from Belfair, Danata, and Sabre to talk about their views and vision on intelligence retailing and NDC. Last but not least, we will end our program talking about emerging technologies that enable travel experience and personalization. Before we kick off our program, and for security purpose, please allocate the gate of the exit in case of emergency, la qadar Allah, from this side. Other facilities are from that door. Now, to start with a global view on the travel sector, please join me in welcoming the President of Sabre for EMEA, Salman Sayyid.
Can I have the Good morning, assalamu alaikum. Very warm welcome to our delegates, especially from the Jordan Tourism Authority, to our airline partners, and to our customers, and to a few potential customers that we have in the room as well. And especially to our potential customers, I really look forward to welcoming you as customers, as Sabre customers next year. So thank you once again for spending the day with us. I realize that this is an important investment of your time. I also see this day as our responsibility as Sabre to inform you of the trends that we see in the marketplace, where we are at Sabre right now, where our vision is, and how we're executing against that vision. So, all geared up. I know we're at the Dead Sea, and this is sort of supposed to be the lowest point of the world, but I'm sure your spirits are going to be a lot higher at the end of the day, right? So that's the litmus test. Just a personal note, I have joined Sabre about 6 months ago. Those 6 months have gone by very fast. And as my boss reminded me last week, the honeymoon is over. And I looked at him and I said, what honeymoon? Right? I spent the last 20 plus years building and scaling digital businesses. Spent some time in private equity, don't hold that against me, and of course some time in travel for about 4 years. So it's great. I feel really excited to be at Sabre. I think this is a very, very exciting time for our industry, and at Sabre it's certainly a very exciting time as we drive our transformation forward. I want to cover 3 things today, and I always overrun on time, so I'm going to wait for rude signals from my colleague Jehan here to make sure I don't overrun. But I want to talk about 3 things. Firstly is about how Sabre is positioned right now. I'll share with you 3 key trends that we see, not just in travel, but in the world around us, in the digital landscape. I will also share with you the data of a research that we've conducted in the last 3 months. And then I will share with you our vision and how we're executing against it. So, firstly, let's start with the good news. The industry that we operate in, if you just look at air and lodging travel spend globally, that adds to 1.2 trillion numbers. I don't know how many zeros that is, but it's a big number. The better news is that if you compare this over the last 3 years to GDP growth in the countries, the travel spend has actually outpaced GDP growth. And that is significant. So while we have challenges, and while there's a lot that's happening in our landscape, both in direct and in distribution and end consumer, the size of the prize and what we've got to play for is actually quite huge, and it's continuing to increase. Right? Sabre, within this 1.2 trillion marketplace, plays a very enviable role in the distribution, in the value chain of the travel marketplace, from helping run airlines to helping sell all the stuff around the seat, to actually helping run hotels, to selling hotel rooms, powering the TMCs, the OTAs, partnering with the biggest corporations in the world to run their travel corporate programs. And in this process, we process, through our Sabre value chain, over $260 billion of spend. So out of that, brands, and many of you are represented in this room as we speak. We seek this partnership very seriously with the brands and how we're investing, and I'll share a little bit more about that with you. One thing that you can certainly take away from today is that we have certainly solved for scale. The Sabre system processes on an annual basis 1.1 trillion messages a year. We are investing over $1 billion this year in 2019, potentially increase, and we have in 1 year we process 1 billion trips that are booked through the Sabre system. So in terms of scale, we've certainly solved for that complexity. Before I share with you my next slide, let's imagine a scenario. Let's imagine that we are going to Vegas. We're going to Vegas. And let's imagine that we are going from any one of these 4 cities in the world. Let's say London, let's say New York, let's say Hong Kong, let's say Sao Paulo. 4 cities going to one destination, Las Vegas. How many shopping itineraries do you think Sabre has created in 1 year for that one destination, Vegas, from these 4 cities? Let's get a little poll in the audience. How many think it's below $1 billion? Billion. How many of you think it's below $1 billion? Okay, we've got one brave person right there. How many think it's over $1 billion? So sort of about half the room. Okay. How many think it's over 10 billion shopping itineraries? How many of you think it's over that 10 billion? Come on, there's some of you that haven't voted. A few. Okay. The answer is actually, in 1 year, Sabre, for that one location, through those 4 cities, has created 22.8 billion shopping itineraries. That might say something about our customers, but that gives you a sense of the scale that the Sabre system processes. Let's for a minute compare that to a global, world's largest retailer, Amazon. They manage 600 million SKUs. 600 million SKUs. Compare that to us as one destination, traffic from 4 cities, 22.8 billion shopping itineraries. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the scale of what goes through the Sabre ecosystem and platform.